Welcome back to Minecraft. Hello Malinka, hello Demon, who's made it to the start of the episode this time.
Hello.
Hello.
So this episode, something brand new completely as opposed to just changes. And it's through the gates over here. So should we travel through?
Yep.
And you should be able to see it straight ahead. Now, over the last few episodes, those who have been eagle-eyed will have spotted that this has been under construction for quite some time. But it's finished now. Look at this. This is our basically a giant bee jar of such. It's a huge, a huge glass dome to contain all of our stuff that is to do with bees. And what I've done, I'll credit where it's due. This isn't necessarily my build. Even though I built it, the design of it was something that was going to happen last season by Althea. So credit where it's due. Althea designed it. I mean, I've changed a little bit to work for our area here, but she gave me a screenshot last season that she'd done on the private world and asked if she could add it to the server. And the only thing that we were missing at the time was the flowers, because we hadn't had a flower biome. And then by the time I found one on the last season, we were wrapping up and she couldn't really play much anymore. So anyway, I decided to recreate it. So, you know, thank Elfie for the cool design, because it is pretty awesome.
Demon. That corner back there is full with the tropical bees. You don't want to play around there. Sorry, I was trying to mention it earlier.
So right in front of me is something called ethereal glass. You can make it using unstable ingots and glass, and it's basically like normal glass. You can walk through it. I think if you sneak though, you can't walk through it anymore, and it prevents mobs walking through it. So it's kind of like a door.
It keeps our butterflies in as well, I think.
It does. So as soon as you start working on any kind of bee stuff, butterflies start to spawn, and normally they just fly off, but we've got them contained in this big jar. So now we have this massive butterfly sanctuary in here, which is pretty good. Have we only got one bed in here?
I'll go fix another one. Give me a second.
Okay.
Actually, we're okay. I've got something on us that I can
Oh,
sleep.
you've got a sleeping bag. Yeah, never mind. Getting up there in the bed.
That is awesome. I forgot about the sleeping bags.
How does it look?
It's funny. You'll see it on camera when you watch it. That's kind of cool. So yeah, as I was saying, this is it's a bit of a butterfly sanctuary as well, and we've got this designed out. So we've got our apiaries through here, and you can see over here plans for the future of alvearies, which are going to come in later on. And yeah, normally the bees and their range for working. Oh well, I'm going to come back to that bit later. That's going to sound a bit confused, but instead I'm going to come downstairs. Now, a lot of the workings of how to automate this is exactly the same as last episode. Last season, sorry.
Last season, you mean?
Yeah. So we've got import buses importing stuff away from the apiaries, and we've got export buses exporting into the apiaries, and it tells what it is. But I'm actually going to grab myself a suit here. So I've got the left-hand one. Yeah. This protects us from some of the nasty effects of bees, because in the corner we've got tropical bees going on. So I'm going to go back upstairs. I'll come back down in a minute. But with the apiary suit, you can actually see that the trees have changed. Let me take this off again so you can see. So yeah, if I look here and then put it again, you can see all the trees have changed. I'm going to come back to what that's about in a short while. But here, yeah, we've got fuzzy export buses saying, you know, put industrious bees in here. That's cool. And over here is our tropical bees. And similar. Now, here's something that is kind of important, is bees have changed. You can see here, this is a pristine stock industrious queen. And let's have a look. I've got this one is well, there's tons of pristine ones. Have I got any ignoble ones? Oh, here we go. And we've got ignoble stock. So ignoble stock means that if I left this running automated after about 100 cycles or so, oh look, it's just finished its cycle. But after about 100 of these cycles, that queen will die completely. And yeah, that's why you'll see over here that one of these is empty, because it had an ignoble in it and now it's died.
Actually, same thing happened with the tropicals as well.
Yeah, some of the tropicals are the same.
There's a few empty.
Yeah. But the pristine ones, they don't die off. Like, they'll just run forever and ever and ever, which is great. But the pristine stock, you don't find them everywhere. So what we'll be doing over time to make sure that these just keep running is when we get pristine stock bees, we'll change them into the right things that we want to keep automated, and then the system will just run. It's, you know, it's pretty cool.
Good scores.
Yeah. So as I was saying about bees and their range, sorry, I kind of got distracted earlier from other stuff, but bees have a range of its fertility, which you can kind of see from the flowers over here. That, you know, it's what's the word for it? It's not fertilizing.
Pollination?
Yeah, pollination. Thank you. It's doing pollination over a bit of a range, and now these bees are by these trees over here and are able to pollinate up to this corner here, and that's been calculated out, and it would only pollinate out to this corner. So these trees here, this is a jungle wood, this is a spruce. Now in theory the jungle wood plus spruce is going to create a certain type of tree, which we're going to show you in a second. But I was trying to keep the mix, so that we can control the mix by having it in range of just these bees. And over here with the tropical bees, we were doing the same thing. So it would take oak wood and birch wood, combine those two, and give us a mix of trees and give us a particular tree line. And over here we were going to do similar things with alvearies. Over here we've got oak mixed with spruce and jungle mixed with birch over here. Now if you look over here though, these white leaves show that they're mutated in some way, and if we you know, with the combination of two different tree types, they've changed it into a new tree sapling, which I'll show in a second. But we've just talked about the range of these bees, and the pollination shouldn't reach those back trees. However, butterflies
are awesome.
So what they do is they land on one tree, they take up the pollen, and they dump it on another tree and mix them. So that's why these back ones are coming through. The butterflies are doing the work. So here's the thing: if you want to do trees of some kind, then you don't need to do bees. So just because we are doing, you know, bee breeding, but if you don't want to, you don't have to. If you want to just do tree breeding, that's possible. You just make a giant ass dome to contain your trees, like we have. Right?
Or a big hole, whichever works for you.
Yeah, and then just grab loads of butterflies, although the butterflies spawn much, much faster if you have at least one
Flowers
bee
around.
house. No, it's the bee house stuff.
I think it's the flowers mostly.
It's not. It's not. So the bees turn it into overdrive. The flowers help, right? But it's the bee houses that turn the butterflies into overdrive, like we've got this room here. Otherwise we'd see them like literally all over the world crazily. But anyway, but you
what
could
you
just
do then
use,
is just automate one apiary, never look back at it, and just keep on going with.
or you could just put some
butterflies.
flowers and just have the slow method, and eventually your bee house will fill with butterflies and do your tree breeding for you. So, but what?
Small tip: if you're too lazy to build a dome, just use a hole made by a quarry.
And then cover it up with something, yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, or a filler, clearing out a big
Filler
area.
would work as well.
Anyway, yeah, so the reason I want to show this kind of setup here is that people who don't like bees but are interested in tree breeding instead, you can do it just through butterflies, and you know, so I've shown how that works. Okay, let's stick on the tree breeding theme for a little bit longer. In this chest I've got a whole bunch of grafters. They're made in forestry, and I'm going to come up here, and actually just to make things easier I'm going to go bat mode, just so I can do this quicker.
Batman.
Come on, fly. Here we go. Right, so if I go up to one of these trees over here, we've been leaving this running for ages, that's hence why so many of these leaves have gone into overdrive. We can actually just get the grafter and use it on any leaf block. And actually what's really cool about the grafter is that it guarantees you a sapling. And you can start...
It does have low durability as to compensate for that.
Yeah, and you can start to see that we're getting trees that are not here. Mundane larch. We don't have a tree called a mundane larch, but that's through the breeding of here that we're actually getting some random bees. Something else that's changed that people might have noticed is that grafters, you can actually use their last durability now, which you couldn't previously. So feel free to just, you know, use the grafter up. They don't last long. Any other new tree that we have here? One of the things that we should be getting out of this breed here is silver limes, but it's not showing up here. The mundane larch has.
I think a silver lime might be mixed with the mundane larch.
Silver lime, no. Silver lime you make by oak and birch, but because of the mix of other stuff, it's kind of messing it up.
Well, there's enough leaves to try. Besides, you can always set up new trees.
It doesn't matter anyway, because in this chest I have actually had silver lime somewhere. Yes, I had some.
Let me go grab something for you then, Fire. Do you still have a basic apple oak sapling there?
Oh, there we go.
I'm going to pick up a new one for you.
There's a silver lime sapling, which is over there. Sorry, you...
Oh, yeah, there's apple oak here.
There's tons of
You've got apple oak here. I just wanted to compare it through the tree analyzer. See if we get better sap.
Oh, okay. Let me just use a tree analyzer and on one of these. So this is just an apple oak sapling mixed with a jungle apparently, but never mind. You get the idea. And you've got here its kind of growth, the soil it works on. It supports poms, which is an apple type. Well, as in a fruit type, should I say. And it says what kind of fruits. Cocoa beans for jungle ones, which you know, and apple for an apple tree, obviously. Can produce apples. And where's the sappiness? Sappiness here.
I always forget it.
So,
is it the orange value or the yellow value for the sappiness?
it says here sappiness lowest.
Ooh, that's not good.
So this is apple oak. So our tree farm right now in our forestry is working on apple oaks, and these are the lowest form of sappiness. So the biomass that we're getting out of using it in our tree farm is really inefficient because it's really got a low sap. Does that make sense? So the better the tree that we can find, might have better saps. Let's try a silver lime and analyse that. This uses honey drops a bit like that. So you might need bees actually for honey drops, oddly enough.
Well, seeing that you just can automate one of the basic ones, for example meadows.
Yeah. Anyway, so sappiness here, instead of lowest, this now says lower, which means that you'd actually get a tiny bit more biomass per sapling using silver lime than you would using the apple oak. So using these trees, you can actually increase the efficiency of your tree farms. And there's a whole bunch of other information here actually that we'll go over. The amount of saplings it drops when you cut the tree down is low on this one, the same as the apple oak actually. So you don't get a lot of saplings back. So sometimes you might find it'd be better, instead of getting a tree with loads of sappiness but low sapling drop, you might be better off having a high sapling drop and a lower sappiness, for example. So it's kind of a combination of both. The girth is how many you need to do. You know that some trees you have to do in like 2x2 or 3x3. That comes later, we'll show those. The height is not very high, it matures in average rate, so it's, you know, it's how quickly it grows from a sapling. The effects, I think that some have special effects on them, so if you're near the tree it would do something. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what the yield is exactly, but let's compare that to, let's do one more, the mundane larch. Mundane larch, saplings are low, sappiness is lower, so it's still better than the apple oak tree. What do we get out of these? Do we get any fruit? No fruit. So yeah, so what we're going to be doing in between episodes, and we'll come back and update. We've got other saplings here, like spruce saplings and all sorts of cool stuff. But yeah, we'll go through and do those off camera, I guess, and do loads of tree breeding, and we'll just do regular updates on what kind of cool trees we have, and eventually we'll be using those trees to actually give us some interesting things, and when we breed them we'll show them.
I'm actually tempted to take those 5 mundane large saplings we have now and well, maybe not all of them, and replace the forestry.
Well, I need to you might want to plant one, graft some stuff out of it, and then do it. Graft some saplings, I think.
Right now.
Right.
I'll place it somewhere outside the dome.
One last thing is over here is our line of stuff here. So we've got our centrifuge combs. We've got a squeezer which is set up for seed oil. We've got all the extra beam machines. Again, we showed this last season, so you know, I'm not going to go over it too much. We've got our gene pool, automating, turning these into DNA. We've got a bee analyzer here, an automated analyzer for the bees, and we've got a squeezer. And over here actually I've got an ME interface which is set to export honey drops. That way we've always got honey drops. So most of it's being squeezed into honey. That's used it for analysing here, but some of it you sometimes want to use it in the tree ELISA or the bee ELISA instead of waiting to analyse it. So instead we've got some exported out, so some of these honey drops get saved. So instead of being immediately squeezed into liquid honey, we're keeping some of them in honey drops so we can use them in the ELISAs. Oh, there's a couple of other things I wanted to show. Here's an arborist database. I think in the previous season we've shown the bee database, which is this thing, that you can basically check on all the different bees. You can see actually I've been working on them, the bees a little bit. I've got auric bees, plum bun, and stannum bees. So I think if I remember correctly, that is stannum is tin. So if I put these bees to work, it will give me tin nuggets. I've got plum bun, which is the lead, and auric, which is gold. So if we wanted gold nuggets and automated gold, we can actually do that. So I just went ahead and made those. Anything else? I've done the industrious and the imperial line, but they're the basic line, and that's it really. So we've only really just got started with bee breeding. And then the equivalent is the arborist database here, and you'll be able to see that, you know, we've discovered starfruit, common beech, which I'm not quite sure where that came from, but it's come from somewhere, mundane larch, red spruce, and as we discover more trees it will populate this data bank, and actually it will help you out here by saying the different lines of the bees, and what species belong to those different lines, which will help you decide what you're going to I'm trying to find some stuff here. Yeah, so this will help you find out what mutates into what and how to get down the breeding lines. So yeah, make yourself one of these arborist databases if you can. They're actually really useful. Other than that, this is a separate network actually to this, so that's why we've got a separate ME controller. That's so that we don't clog up our main system with bee related products that can go out of control. You can already see we've got like 1,000 odd imperial bees that are currently being worked through right now, and then loads of serums that I've been getting off of the different bees that we've been finding. So yeah, yeah, besides spending an absolute age with grafters and doing some tree breeding, that's pretty much covers everything that we've been working on in this room. And yeah, we'll come up and give updates, and if we update for alvearies, or we find a cool bee or a cool tree, then we'll just update and show you what we've been up to. Everyone happy here?
Yeah, sounds like a good plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like to do it like on camera properly. It's just that, you know, bee breeding and tree breeding is something that's slow and takes hours, which is fine. It's quite nice to be doing whilst you're doing other things on the servers, just to keep updating things. But you know,
Don't forget to get your armor back.
yeah, that's fine. Have you got some bone meal?
I've already tried it on the mundane large. It didn't work.
Oh, did not.
I got some green sparkles and that's it.
Oh, it should still work. It just means there's only like bone meal changed ages ago, so there's only a chance of it growing. You just got unlucky.
Yeah, I
I think.
spent about 10 on them, but still didn't grow. Oh, it just grew. Ha!
Did it? Oh,
Just
okay.
yep. Bring up the grafter, I'd say.
I've got a grafter on me actually. I'm actually about to wrap up. I just wanted to show a new tree, basically. So
Looks cool.
it is. I really like the logs on this, and you know what? I reckon that we'll get a sapling out of it. So I'm actually just going to chop it down, and using this actually. Well, you do have to do it over bloody water though.
Sapling.
Yeah.
Saplings. Got 5 already.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I use that pickaxe because it's really fast at getting rid of the leaves. Anyway, so this larch wood that we've now chopped down makes these kind of
Can you
very.
pass me the saplings?
I haven't got them. You get these kind of peach planks out of it.
Cool.
We're going to be doing a lot more with the wood at some point, but that will come later as well. So, in a few episodes' time.
I'm off to replace the wood farm.
Okay, cool. You may have to obviously adjust a whole bunch of stuff, but yeah.
Yep. Oh, let me set that up correctly before I forget. Good point.
Okay, so next episode, I've got quite an interesting build to do with XP. Now, I think a few episodes ago I showed you that I turned the XP gain off because we didn't need XP for anything. Well, I found out, well, I've worked out, I should say, what we can do with all the extra XP and actually make it useful. So, yeah, if you've got one of those automated essence farms and you're finding it's gone in overdrive and you need to find something new to do with the XP, then I'm going to show you next episode. So please join us then. And from Demon, Malinka, and myself, Fireweaver, see you next time. Bye.
See you next time.
See you later.